Any comfortable seat that works for you. Soles of the feet can be down, you can be cross-legged, whatever works. And once you find that seat and adjust the base of the seat so that you feel as though the tailbone is back behind you, start to let the weight of the body drop down, even slouch a bit. So feel the difference in the slouch, feel it in your hips, right? And then begin to draw length up through the spine. And feel how the weight comes out of the hips just a little bit, but the sits bones still stay rooted to the earth. So we can always remain rooted while lifting and rising. Let the hands rest down on the knees and give a little bit of downward, outward pressure. And then release that pressure and simply relax the hands. Let the elbows splay out to the sides. And then draw them gently in toward the ribs, letting them rest wherever they land. Feel the shoulders roll up to the ears, and then relax them down the back. Let the head hang heavy, dropping chin to chest. And then slowly level that head up to a neutral position. And from that physical skeletal alignment, we'll move to the skin and muscles, taking a moment to scan across the skin of the face, releasing the space between the brows, the corners of the eyes, and the corners of the lips. Feeling the teeth and the lips gently separate as the jawline relaxes. And feel as though the muscles of the upper body are melting around the bones. And the muscles of the lower body are releasing down into the earth, much like the bones upon which they sit. And from that neutral space of muscular and skeletal alignment, we start to become aware of our breath. Simply feeling it move through the body. You feel the rib cage expand. You feel the lungs expand. And as you exhale, you feel them slowly start to release and contain inward to center as those muscles melt a little bit deeper. And just as we did with our skeleton and our muscular system, we'll start to create a bit deeper connection here by taking a longer, fuller breath in, noticing your pause as you reach the top, and a more complete emptying exhale, noticing the pause as you reach the bottom. Continuing with this cycle, full, deep inhale, notice the pause. Complete emptying exhale, notice the pause once again. And if the mind wanders, just begin again at your inhale, just noticing your breath, watching, knowing that all there is in this moment is to breathe. Breathe and be fully present from the inside of your body to the outside of your body. And using this time to note places and spaces that might need some extra attention from you while you move tonight. Be mindful of them. Use your breath as we move. Modify as is necessary. And on your next exhale, we'll drop our chins down to our chest, just letting the head hang heavy here. Gentle stretch over the back of your neck. Slowly let your right ear come towards your right shoulder. Allowing the chin to roll through the chest, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Allowing the the chin to drop down to the chest, and again, leveling the head up over the shoulders, gently opening the eyes. We'll take the left foot crossed in front of the right foot if that feels comfortable for you. If it doesn't, soles of the feet to touch works just fine. Hands are going to come to the knees, whatever position you've chosen, and you'll draw the fingertips to face in and the elbows out. Lift your chest up, downward, outward pressure through the knees as you fold forward. So feeling this in the hips, in particular in the outer and inner hip crease of that left side. And just give a little bit of rocking from side to side here as you start to loosen up the low back and the big muscles that connect to the low back through the hips. Slowly walk your hands forward, broaden across your chest, sending center chest toward either big toes if soles are touching or over ankles if legs are crossed. Start to walk your hands now over to the upper right corner of the mat, pushing down and back through the left hip, feeling that stretch over the side of your waist, over the outer hip and the hip crease. And then sliding the right hand by the right knee or hip and lifting the left arm up. Feeling that side waist stretch from the hip up over the rib. As you draw through center on an inhale, you'll take the left hand to your right ear, drawing the left ear to the shoulder. Keeping your right fingertips in touch with the earth, push downward and outward into the floor and feel that stretch come a little bit deeper out to the tip of the shoulder. Slowly release the chin to the chest, relax both hands down. Tent the fingertips, push into the floor, broaden the collarbones, feel the stretch over the neck. Inhale, lift the gaze, lift the arms. Exhale, right hand behind, left hand across, ring out and twist. And slowly you'll come back through center, changing the cross of the legs. Or if soles of feet were together, you're simply going to take the soles of the feet apart. Same idea here though. Fingertips will face inward, elbows outward, chest rises, and we fold. Taking a little bit of rocking again, feeling a little bit more if the legs are crossed, a little bit more in the right hip than you might the left hip. And if the legs are wide, fingertips are out to the side and you're just leaning forward just a bit. Slowly you'll walk your hands forward, again broaden across your collarbones. If legs are wide, you're sending the chest forward as much as feels comfortable on those inner thighs. And then slowly start to walk your hands to the upper left corner of your mat. Pushing downward and backward through that right hip. Slowly slide the left hand to the side of the mat. The right arm will reach up, pushing down through the right hip. Nice deep stretch across the side of the waist. Coming back through center, you're going to take that right hand to the left ear, right ear to the shoulder. Push downward and outward through tented fingertips on the left. Slowly release the fingers to the floor, chin drops to chest. Press into the floor with the hands as the collarbones broaden, and you send center chest toward that dropped chin. On an inhale, everything rises, gaze and arms. Twisting now to your left with the right hand over the knee. Feeling that come right through that low back as we start to get the body warm. And slowly back through center. You'll uncross the legs, sending the legs behind, coming right up onto hands and knees. And we're going to find a cat-cow to child's pose flow. So on an inhale, the belly will draw down, the chest will lengthen forward. On an exhale, you'll round your spine, push your hips right to your heels, child's pose. Find a full breath here. Inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, rise up through that cow belly. Exhaling, press back, child's pose. Again, full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, lengthen, collarbones broaden, cow belly. Exhale, round, moving now with each breath. Inhaling, lengthen, collarbones broaden, cow belly. Exhale, round, cat back to child's pose. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and push back. Last time through. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round and push back. Stay here in your child's pose. Big toes can touch with knees separated, or the shins and knees can touch. Just finding that nice length and neutral spine here. Walking your hands to the right corner, getting that side waist. So there's that big muscle in the low back. It's the quadratus lumborum. And that is what tends to give us the problems. Walking your hands through center, come over to your left side. So I have these kind of go-to moves for low back stretching, and it's always about finding that sweet spot in the QL. And slowly come through center. You're gonna rise up onto hands and knees. So we're gonna take what's called crocodile pose, which I think I've probably taken before, but it's been a really long time. So I'm just gonna demonstrate it first. The shift comes from the knees and the hips. Shoulders come over the tips of the fingers. And then you lower chin, chest, and belly and lift up to cobra. Then we'll come back to child's. So it's a flow. So everyone's starting in child's pose. We're gonna lift up, cow belly to start. Find neutral spine as you send the hips and the shoulders forward. Drop down, chin, chest, belly. Rise up, cobra pose. And curl back to child's pose. Lift up, lengthen, cow belly. Neutral spine, lower down, chin, chest, belly, lengthen up, and push back, child's pose. We're going to take that one more time. Lengthen up, cow belly, neutral spine, lower down, chin, chest, belly, rise up through the chest. Take it back, child's pose, last time. Deep breath in child's pose. Full breath out. Slowly walking your hands back, you'll just come to sit back on your heels. Lifting the torso nice and tall so that shoulders, ribs, and hips stack. Allow the arms to rise up. We're going to twist to your right side. Right hand will come to the small of the back, left hand to the outer thigh. Just a tiny twist here. You might feel it through the side part of your QL on the right. As you inhale, rise. Come through center. Exhale, come to the left. Ringing out, twisting here. Good. Inhale, rise. You're going to exhale, tap and twist. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tap and twist left. One more to the right. One more to the left. Beautiful. Now rise all the way up onto knees. Take the hands through center chest. Let's step the right foot forward and drop the hips down. Good. From here, you're just going to send the chest into a twist and come back to center. A twist and come back to center. Last time, twist. Hook the elbow to either top or side of knee. Use that traction to create a deeper twist. And slowly take both hands now to the top of your knee. Dropping the hips forward and down. Keep the navel slightly engaged, but not super active tonight. Just a slight engagement through that low belly. And let the hips drop down. Again, all those connective points that tighten up the low back. From here, send the right leg back and take the left foot forward. Hands come to center chest as you draw hips down. Twisting to your left, tiny little twist here, come to center. Twisting to your left, come to center. Last time twist left, this time you'll hook the elbow, and then you're going to start to try to bring the center of the chest to meet those thumbs. It may not happen right now, we're not super warm. Slowly unwind. Take the hands to your knees, dropping your hips forward and down. And just relaxing the shoulders down your back. Slowly release left knee to meet right knee. You're going to take your hands to your imaginary back pockets here. Lift your chest tall, draw the upper arm bones toward one another, and start to imagine you're coming over that little imaginary beach ball, trying to relax the glutes and pull the navel into the spine to release any tension through low back. Little camel pose here. And slowly come back through center. Coming down onto hands and knees, step back through that right leg. You're going to lift up to hip height and draw the knee into the chest, rounding the spine. Kick back and up about an inch through the glute. Then draw in again. Kick back, lift up, draw under. Last time, kick back, draw up, draw under. Stay here, nice rounded spine, navel tucking, feeling that action in the low belly. And release back to neutral, knee to the floor. Left leg behind, lift to hip height. Pull knee to chest. Extend back, lift up through the glute. Draw in. Extend back, lift through the glute. Draw in. Last time, extend back, lifting through the glute. And then you're going to draw in, try and make that connection. Imagine you want to drive the knee to the forehead under the body, and then release to neutral. From here, round the spine very slightly. Shift your hips over to your left side, back towards your heels, and over towards your right side. Come back towards your heels, over towards your left side. One more time to each side, back and to the right, back and to the left. Coming right back to neutral spine here, send your right toes back behind you, lift the leg to hip height, and draw your knee out to your shoulder as you then kick back behind you to the left. Draw the knee to the shoulder, kick back behind you to the left. Last time, knee will come to shoulder, kicking back behind you. Stay here with the toes pressed through the heel. Hands can stay where they are, or forearms can drop to the floor. Feeling that outer hip on the left side, just begin to wake up, and a little stretch across the side of your right waist. Now from here, hands come underneath your shoulders. Your right foot comes wide outside of your pinky finger, and walk your hands forward as you draw the hips down, coming into this wide supported low lunge. Just feeling the inner thigh and the hip crease on the right side and the front of the thigh on the left side. Slowly tent your fingertips and begin to walk the hands back as you straighten out that right leg, lifting the sole up. So you're in this kind of wide half split here. And with tented fingers, you can lengthen your chest forward with balance and feel the inner part of the hamstring. Walk your hands forward, come into that supported lunge once again. This time curl left toes under, lift up off of that knee. Circle from right to left. So you're kind of rolling over the tips of the toes here. Coming back to center, let the knee drop down. Send your right knee back to meet your left knee. And find a cat-cow here, resetting the spine to neutral. Coming back, letting that left leg come back behind and lift up to hip height. You'll draw to shoulder and behind you to the right. To shoulder and behind you to the right. Last time, shoulder, all the way behind, land there, press the heel back. Maybe forearms drop down if that's comfortable. Feeling your right outer hip supporting you and your left waist gently stretching. Allowing the hands to come under the shoulders. You'll draw that left knee wide and step the foot outside of your pinky as you walk your hands forward and drop the hips down. Just finding this nice deep stretch on both legs. Tenting your fingers, walk back as you straighten your left leg and send the toes up toward the ceiling, sole of foot lifted. Broaden across your collarbones as you lengthen the spine and come deeper into the stretch. And walk your hands forward, coming back now into that lunge. Curl your toes under on the right foot, lift up off of the knee, circle left to right. And slowly bring that knee back down to the floor, sending left knee to meet right knee, and find one cat-cow here. Neutral spine, hands walk back. Again, hands to those imaginary back pockets. Lift the chest, broaden the collarbones, and send that heart up and open as you bend backward. Slowly releasing. Taking your hands to the earth, pressing the hips to the heels, child's pose, neutralize that low back. And come up to neutral spine. Take your right foot forward through the hands this time. Tent the fingers, find that supported low lunge, and broaden the chest up over the knee. So really deep into your left hip flexor here. We're going to set that left hand down and open up into a twist on the right side. Nice. Letting your right hand set onto the knee, push up, and then take your left hand on top of your right hand, allowing those hips to drop down once again. This time, let the arms release down, palms will face forward. Lift your shoulders to your ears, and then actively drop them down the back as the fingers reach toward the floor. They may not touch tonight, but that's what we're kind of imagining. That line of energy reaching right toward the floor. Inhale the arms up as you lift the hips and straighten the leg. Take the hands to the thigh and send the chest forward toward that big toe. So now you should feel the center part of your hamstring. You can take a tiny micro bend in that knee as you kind of pull the energy of the heel backward, and you'll feel more activity through the hamstring there. Inhale, sweep your arms up, draw your hips down, hands to center chest. We're going to take that twist again, so it's just 1 to center, 2 to center, and then on 3, hook the elbow. This time you might find you come deeper, ringing out here, using leverage of elbow to knee and knee back to elbow. And slowly release your hands to either side of that foot. You're going to send your left toes under, lift up, tenting the fingertips here. Now bend both knees, step up to the top of your mat. You're going to just hang in a rag doll. This is really the only standing posture we'll take here. This nice deep release. Letting your head drop heavy, letting your torso touch your thighs. Even if that means bending the knees, you should feel very neutral through the back there. Release the hands to the earth, step back, right foot, knee down, left foot, knee down. Walk your hands back. Hands to imaginary back pockets for that back bend once again. Roll the chest open, lift the center chest toward the chin. So you're imagining navel reaching toward center chest reaching toward chin, and chin staying tucked until the sternum becomes parallel with the ceiling. Slowly rising back to your neutral spine. We're going to take the hands down, round your spine into cat back. And slowly you'll take the left foot forward through your tented fingertips, dropping your hips forward and down and broadening across your collarbones. Lengthen that chest. Setting the right hand to the earth. Open up the left arm, find this open twist. Left hand to the knee. Lift your torso up, right hand to meet it. Drop down. Release your hands, palms facing forward. Roll shoulders to ears. Allow those fingertips to reach down for the earth. As you inhale, let the arms lift, let the hips draw back, and that left leg lengthens. Hands come to thighs. If you have blocks or stacked books handy, go ahead and grab for them. And send the chest toward that big toe. Again, micro bend in the knee as the heel starts to draw backward a bit. Inhale, you're going to sweep up, and exhale, hands to center chest. Twisting 1, center, 2, center, and 3, hook elbow to knee. Again, you might feel yourself come a bit deeper here, ringing out. And unwind, tent your fingers. Curl the right toes under, lift up off of that knee and step forward. This time, feet come wide, knees bend, hang here, ragdoll. Release your hands, heel toe your feet wider than the mat and turn the toes out and the heels in as you bend the knees. Let your hands come inside the knees, fingertips face down, push the knees wide. One twist here, drop left shoulder, look over right. Drop right shoulder, look over left. One more time, twist to the right. One more time, twist to the left. Beautiful, release, turn your toes in, heels out, fold forward, grabbing hold of backs of thighs, shins, or ankles. Letting the head draw down toward the floor, head hangs heavy, imagining crown is reaching to the floor. Begin to reach your left hand over to your right leg, pulling down to the right side. Coming through center, take it to your left. And coming right back to center, hands are going to come to the floor. Again, toes out, heels in, bend those knees. Maybe tense your fingers. We're going to shift over to your right side, shift over to your left side. Feel inner thigh here. One more time right, one more time left. Hands down, knees back, tabletop pose. Cat-cow here, belly down, chest lengthens. Round the spine. Walk your hands back. One more back bend here. Camel pose, deepest expression of the pose. Hands behind, open the chest, lift up. Again, being mindful of where the sternum or center chest is before releasing that gaze back. And slowly release. Coming into your child's pose, neutralize that low back. Rising up, you're going to sit to your right hip and send the right shin forward, left foot behind. We're immediately going to bring our hands and walk them across to the left side. Getting right in from the outer hip up across the low back. Walk the hands through center. Draw your right heel in a bit. Take the left foot and cross it either in front of or over the knee. But you want to make enough space so that right heel doesn't come underneath your glute. That way your left glute reaches the floor. Left hand will be behind your back. Inhale, tall, reach. Use that length to take your right arm outside of that left knee if possible, otherwise hugging. But wherever you are, you're going to imagine that left inner knee kind of reaching towards your right inner rib cage, or armpit for that matter. And slowly unwind. Walk your feet away from one another. So you're walking the knees, kind of stacking them toward one another. Hands will come to your ankles as you lift up and give a little bit of forward weight. You're going to feel your hips here. Use your fingers in front of you now to support your weight, just so that you don't rock up off the sits bones. We're pushing downward and backward through the hips and lengthening forward and upward through the chest. And walk those hands back. Lean back, unwind the feet, soles of the feet to the floor, windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then we'll roll to that left hip, sending left shin forward, right foot behind. And walk your hands over to your right side now, getting right into that low back and outer hip. Walking your hands back, sliding that left heel in just a bit to create space for the right leg to swing across. Your variation, whatever's comfortable for you. Right hand behind, left arm lifts tall. You want to think about outside of the knee if possible, otherwise hugging. So it's either into the elbow crease or up in toward that armpit. Every inhale lifts your chest and drops your hips, so the spine is lengthening. And every exhale, you're wringing out. Slowly come right back through center. Lean back into your hands, soles of feet to the floor, windshield wiper those knees from side to side. And coming back to neutral, hands will come to the shins. Lift your chest, so seated cat-cows here. Round your spine out. Lift and round. Last time, you're gonna lift up, and now as you round back, take your left hand to your right hand. Push back through that right rib cage, so there's a little bit of kind of diagonal twist here. And back through center, take it in the other direction. Right hand on top of left hand and pull back through right rib. And back through center. Let your hands come behind you, creating space for the right ankle to come up over the left knee. Now, if this is not comfortable, or the hips, I actually had a client today, super, super tight. This wasn't happening in his hips. This can all be done from the floor, okay? A little bit easier when we're reclined. So from here, lift the chest up. If you are on the floor, you're just gonna pull the knees into your chest. Now you should feel a little bit of outer hip here. We're gonna add in a twist to the low back. Left hand will kind of scoot behind a little bit so it's in line with the spine. Right hand will come into the arch of the foot. Find length and then twist, pushing foot to hand, hand to foot. And slowly come back through center. Releasing the sole of the right foot, leaning back. Fingertips are gonna face inward. You're just gonna lift up, little neutralizing of the spine here, and lower down. Take your left ankle over your right knee, and you'll lift up. Sending the fingertips to face backward is a little bit helpful in that lifting action because it allows you to open the shoulders. We're keeping the foot actively flexed and we're drawing the knee outward so that shin becomes parallel. Take your right hand in line with your spine, left hand to the arch of the foot. Lift your chest up and ring out. And unwind. Hands behind, fingertips face in. Walk your hands back so when you lift up, the shoulders will stack over the wrists. You're gonna press into the feet, press into the hands, lift your hips. Chin can stay tucked here. And then slowly you're gonna lower down. And you're gonna draw your knees into your chest as you roll back to reclined. Let the arms come out in a wide T and drop your knees over to the right, but bring them as high up toward that right armpit as you can, while also trying to work your left shoulder to the earth. The trick here is open your palms up. Feel how that takes the upper arm bone into an open rotation. Draw the navel in as you pull the knees to center and drop over to your left, high up toward the armpit. Again, trying to release that right shoulder blade down to the earth. And slowly come back through center. Take the soles of the feet down. Your hands are going to come beside you, and you're going to cross your right ankle over your left, just as we did seated. The difference here, your palms are going to roll face up, and you're going to press into your left foot and lift your hips up. So this is a figure 4 bridge. You'll feel it into the hip on the right side, but it should feel neutral through the low back. Release down. Send your left knee towards your chest and interlace behind that left leg. So this is that figure 4 interlace. Now kick your left heel up, adding a hamstring stretch on the left leg. And slowly release, sole of left foot down. Keep ankle crossed, arms come out wide, drop the knees to the right. So you'll be kind of resting on the big toe edge of that left foot. Draw the legs through center, drop over to your your left side, and that right knee will work toward the ceiling. So you're kind of straight up and down with that knee. And slowly you'll come right back through center. Taking both soles of the feet down, gentle windshield wiper here. Taking the knees back through center, you'll cross the left ankle over your right knee, walking that right heel in. Draw your hands by your sides, palms face up. Lift to that figure 4 bridge. And slowly release down. As the hips touch the floor, let the sole of the foot come off the floor and draw the knee into the chest. Send your right heel high, stretching that hamstring on the right leg. Now the trick here is the tailbone tends to want to lift up off the floor a bit. Press the tailbone down as you reach higher through the heel and pull back deeper. Slowly release, sole of that right foot drops down, arms to the side, legs drop left. Slowly through center, dropping now over to your right side, knee toward the ceiling. And slowly back through center. This time both knees in toward your chest. With the knees into your chest, you're going to pull deeply. Imagine you could send the belly button right down to the spine. So you're kind of imagining this little thread pulling that navel down. Tailbone is pressing to the floor. You actually might feel this through hips. Now take a breath in and send the shins into your hands so the arms kind of stretch out a bit. And as you breathe out, bend your elbows, pull the knees in. Inhale, press out, extending those arms. Exhale, bend those elbows, pull the knees in. One more time, inhale and exhale. From here, you're going to take the soles of the feet down, palms face upward. We're taking 2 bridge poses. Walk your heels back. Press into the big toe edges of the feet, lift your hips up. Release any tension through your glutes here. And slowly release down. Gentle windshield wiper of the knees from side to side. Back through center, lift up. Pressing the back of the head into the floor to create space across the throat. And lower down. Send your knees into your chest, but take them wide. So take them outside of your rib cage. Now we're going to go for happy baby, so it's not the most modest pose, but if this feels fine, stay right here. If you want to take it deeper, you're going to reach for the inside arches of your feet and draw the ankles to stack over those knees, pulling the knees downward toward the outer ribs. You should feel that deep into your hip crease. And then a little bit of rocking as we come into dead bug pose. Coming back to happy baby, finding stillness, releasing those knees just a millimeter deeper. And then slowly send the heels to touch and the legs up as the arms relax by your sides. So this simple legs up the wall here, releasing the blood flow, reversing it, feeling the low back neutral, full of mobility, full of circulation. And then slowly turn the soles of the feet to touch. As you bend your knees, you're going to let the pinky toe edges of your feet drop to the floor and find yourself in this butterfly pose, reclined butterfly pose, or Supta Baddha Konasana, bound angle. You'll feel this through the hips. If this gets to be uncomfortable, slide something underneath your knees to give a little support to the legs, so you don't feel like a little wishbone ready to snap. Take your hands to the outer thighs now. Draw those knees in toward one another. You're going to draw both knees into the chest. Extend your left leg down. And then extend your right leg as the left knee comes in. One more time, right knee comes in, left leg long. Final twist here. Take the right knee across the body to the left. Release that right arm out to the side. Final release for that low back. Draw through center, both knees in. Right leg long, left knee stays. Find your final twist, dropping the knee over to the right, releasing the left hand out to the side. Coming back through center, both knees into the chest. Gentle circles here, 3 times in each direction. And slowly you'll release those legs long, finding your final resting pose in Shavasana, taking anything that you need to feel fully supported. And with a lot of work through the low back, if the back is tender tonight after a long week, feel free to take something underneath the knees. So a couple pillows, maybe a rolled mat. That will provide you a little bit of extra support. Oftentimes I take the end of my mat and just roll it up until it reaches my knees. Just a little bit of extra support under the knees. And find the weight of your body surrendering downward. Take a moment here, scanning the body from head to toe. Notice how your body might have changed. Feel differences through the physical body and the circulation, through the muscles, through the bones. Feel energetic changes through the breath and the state of the mind. And rest in these changes without attaching any labels to them, good, bad, or indifferent. Simply notice differences. And know that creating those differences allows you to ultimately find balance through body, mind, and spirit. Allow yourself to rest here, letting go of all control of breath. feeling the gentle rise and fall, and allow that rhythm to lull you in to this peaceful presence. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your physical body. Just gently noticing your rising and falling breath. Allowing the breath to radiate through to fingers and toes as movement comes back. Finding any final stretches that might feel right. And drawing your knees in toward your chest as you roll from darkness to light. And press up to a comfortable seat. Taking a final moment here to be fully present once again in your body. And reflecting on this quote from Gloria Steinem, she says, "The first problem for all of us, men and women, is not to learn, but to unlearn." And Rolf goes on, Rolf Gates, who wrote Meditations on the Mat, he says, "The trick is to see the opportunity in our discomfort. We can simply nurse our hurt pride, or we can see the situation as a good time to get rid of some excess baggage." I would say this is true physically, mentally, and emotionally. The practice of yoga is the practice of stripping away what has to be unlearned, emptying our cup of the past so that we can fill it in the present. And I think this is applicable both on and off the mat, certainly in today's world. Finding ways to bring ourselves to empty, to relearn not only our tolerance for physical discomfort and ways to work through it on our mat, but using that lesson off the mat to tolerate the mental and emotional discomfort that comes with learning new ways of being. So as we enter into the weekend, I hope that your practice brings you peace. And I always thank you for joining me. Let's rise the arms up as you breathe in. Draw the palms to touch and slide the thumbs to center chest as you breathe out. As always, I'll seal our practice with a single round of Om. Inhaling. Surrendering the head to the heart as you swallow in the back of your throat. Raising your thumb knuckle to center forehead. All that is light and love in me honors and shines to all that is light and love in you. Namaste.